If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, $125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. $125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in a Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed. A child shall lead them.
To buy our merch. All right, you guys, the 6 Degrees of Separation Classic Metal live stream is in progress.
Say that 10 times fast, you losers.
The next song on the list is by Dr. Butcher again. This song is called Juice, but it's also connected to the chair. Juice is 1.5 minutes, mostly instrumental into the main song, The Chair. It's about, you guessed it, the electric chair.
Holy shit.
But John flips the script at the end and in a really ingenious way. I won't spoil it though.
Dr. Butcher, Juice, and the chair. Juice and the chair. Let's do it.
This dying day.
Wow.
Chris Caffrey, you're a bad man.
This is the second time. Okay, so I first listened to the first song, and I wanted to hear the second one before I made this claim. But I really would love to be at one of their shows.
This man?
Yeah. Listen.
He looks like he'd have like legit stage presence, huh?
Oh, absolutely.
Is that why you'd want to see him live? The stage?
Well, no, it's not just that. It's that, I mean, he does it. I gotta get them to turn this. This doesn't make any sense.
Turn what?
We're listening to Middle America.
Hey,
you guys, this doesn't make any sense. We're streaming here.
Yeah, my kids are watching my. They asked me, they're like, "You find it weird that your kids are watching your YouTube channel?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Okay.
I'd never do it."
Listen, this is so terrible. I can't believe I'm saying this publicly. But sometimes, Vin and I don't always agree, right? So sometimes we get frustrated with each other, and then sometimes we're like annoyed with each other, and we still do everything together. We work, we sleep, we live, we eat, everything together. And then sometimes like Vin will take like an extended shower or something. So I'll get like a couple of hours to like kind of like regroup from my frustration. And guess what? I go to the living room. The kids are watching Middle America. I go to the kitchen. They're watching more. I'm like, what? I can't escape.
You can never leave.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So yeah, well, stage presence, yes, but also like, I really like the energy that he puts off. And secondly, I feel like, I mean, of course, this could be my Mojo's design, but like there's some meaningful stuff in here that makes you think, just like the last one did.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if his entire repertoire is like that, or if this is just Mojo picking the most meaningful songs, or whatever, and putting them forward. But the ending of the song, like,
yeah, that's a hell of a twist.
Yeah, it made me for the first time like think, wait a minute. How many times has that happened? Like, how many people are dead because somebody couldn't actually go through with their own suicide? And so they wanted to be put in that situation.
Suicide by cop.
Yeah, but you put other people in that situation. But then I think to myself, so of course when you ask that question, the answer is, okay, so then should we do, what is that? Were they assisted suicide? Were they,
Yeah.
But when you ask that question, then you think of all the people, I mean, we've talked to so many people in so many different brackets of life and areas, and everybody goes through bad times. Like, it's inevitable. Like, if you get through your entire life and everything was hunky-dory, I don't know, you might have been imagining the entire thing as you went, because life has pain in it, and there are sorrows, and there are seasons that you go through that feel like this is never going to end. I'm going to be like this forever. And I was just talking to somebody the other day, and I was saying, when I grew up, for you, life switched all over the place. I mean, you didn't know if tomorrow you weren't going to be plopped in the car and brought to the 7-8 states over,
Yeah.
For me, it was the same house, everything was consistent. My father is an extremely consistent man. Like, there are no deviations. He gets up at the same time. He has his cup of coffee. He spends his time reading his Bible. He prays. He makes his lunch. Everything that he does is systematic, and that's how he has orchestrated his life. And so we lived in that world. I honestly, for me, I like a little bit of chaos. Maybe that's why I've enjoyed these last few years with you. There's a lot of different stuff changes, whatever. And so I enjoy that. As a matter of fact, this is really terrible, but I used to hope that something bad would happen. I remember hoping my parents would go through a divorce so I could get some more siblings. I mean, that's pretty crazy. But anyway, so when you're talking to people, I said, I couldn't imagine when I went through my first, I was finding all kinds of lies that my ex was saying to me in all these situations that were coming up. And then it was making me realize other situations that had been going on that I had been ignoring. And so all this stuff kind of compiled into one section of my life, and it felt so horrible. And, on top of that, he was the breadwinner. So I had no income. I was stay-at-home mom, homeschooling, blah, blah, blah. And so now he held all the money back. So I had no money. I had no way to pay bills. And he was trying to make it so I'd have to kind of grovel back. But that was when Vinny and I I actually wasn't helping you nanny at first. You just were helping me with all my bills, and I was like, what the fuck? I want to help do something. But when I was in that phase of my life,
all your bills.
no, but you were helping with a lot of them, and that's what kept me from having to be like, please, you know what I mean? So anyway,
yeah.
But the point is, when I was going through that phase of my life, it was extremely difficult and it was really painful. There wasn't the support that I really, really needed. You were extremely supportive, but I think that a lot of times people are in need of a network of support. Not just one person, and so there was a lot that was being placed on you, and the network of people that should have been there, weren't for whatever reasons. But I remember feeling like, oh my gosh, like this was overwhelming, and there were times where I felt like it was not going to change and things were going to get worse, and I was having the craziest thoughts at that point, but now, obviously, life goes on. And if you make the choice, the painful decision to get out of a bad situation, the transition is extremely difficult. But when you get out on the other side of that, you're glad that you did it. And you feel empowered that you were able to make that sort of change through that pain and survive and come to the other side of it. And so now, obviously, I have a life with Vinny where, we do all kinds of stuff. We have a great life together. We've got bunches of kids and life is good, But at that time, I couldn't see that future. So I think that sometimes when you can't see a future, which happens when you're very depressed, you could make a decision like going to end your own life. You walk into a clinic, they end your life for you, but you didn't realize, what was in your future that, maybe I'm just talking too much, but remember in Lord of the Rings, there was one part in there where there was that one girl she was gonna give up, Liv Tyler or something. Yeah. She was gonna give up her
elfdom or
to be with him, but he was not gonna last forever, and so I think it was her father. Somebody was trying to paint this really dismal and dark picture for her that she was going to spend eternity after eternity after eternity just living in suffering and being alone. And then she ends up having a vision of this, emotional because of babies, kids, this blue-eyed boy that looks like him, and she realizes, no, the end of his existence is not the end of all things. There are more things beyond them, and the more life will come, and there's more stuff. So she was never going to be alone. She was going to see a lot of generations. So I think that sometimes if some of us could just see into our future and see, maybe it's not like a blue-eyed little boy, or maybe it's something else, something else that would kind of bring you joy and hope is in the future, but you're not there yet. And you feel so depressed about the present that you think, there's going to be no change. Everything's going to stay the same. And because you're in that depressed state, are you really capable or qualified to make that decision of whether or not you should end your life? So I think if you open it up to that, so many people would end up dying that needlessly, that their life was going to turn and things were going to change and there was hope in the future. And of course, seeing the fallout of one person's decision to choose to end their own life and how that affects all the people within their circle, it's just impractical. But then you think to yourself, well, that's crazy. If that person would have just been able to simply end their own life, they wouldn't have killed all those other people in a mass shooting. But then you can't, I don't know, again, that's one of those decisions. Then we're making a decision based off fear. But then if it was my family that was going to die because somebody couldn't go through with their own and then they went about it that way so that way they could end up in the electric chair, I'd say, well, no, you should make this available to that man. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to see my family die because of that.
Yeah.
It's a very complicated thing, But then but obviously we want the most human life saved possible.
Well, I don't think that's particularly obvious to everybody. In Switzerland, there's a clinic, according to Stephen, where you can have assisted death. The problem is that people with trivial problems have gone there.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but obviously not trivial to them.
Right.
And that's what happens.
The thing.
You open that door.
Yeah.
Then those types of things happen. Yes, Kev, I am aware of it. I'm working on it. Thanks for the heads up. But yeah, it definitely opened. It was definitely a twist. I thought the twist was going to be, and 7 o'clock hit, my alarm went off, and it was time for me to go to school. I didn't think it was going to be, so I massacred all these people.
I didn't expect that either.
Holy shit. I was like, what year was that?
I actually thought that they were going to change the law or something, and the person was going to not go to death row. But it was very difficult for me not to read ahead. I literally had to scroll the screen down so I couldn't see the words.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to know. But
yeah. So, yeah, I thought it was a great song. Very, very thought-provoking. That solo at the end, man. Holy smokes. That
yeah,
solo
he's
at the
very
end,
good.
There was a lot. Go listen to that solo and then listen to Kirk Hammett's solo on Fade to Black, particularly the second half of that solo, because it seemed very inspired by Brother Hammett. Let's just say it that way.
I will say I'm very
brilliant
glad that he did a side project. And
yes,
because like sometimes people do side projects and I'm like, I don't know. I feel like it was just your name that got that project out there. It wasn't that you had a really great product.
Right.
But this to me is legitimately, it's really good. And I think that it feels like it has so much pent up in it that it was necessary that it was made public. So,
yeah.
This, do you have more to say?
No.
I think I'm going higher with this one. I'm going to go with a 9.5 for this one.
Would you say 9.5?
Yeah. Oh, wait, pause. This line, I highlighted it, but you didn't seem to see what I was pointing at here.
What's on the mind when the convict
fries? First of all, the way that they worded it, I find that to be repulsive. Like, frying and calling him the convict instead of, because it's not they're not, like, it's dehumanized a little bit. But then also, like, the question of what is on their mind. That was just crazy. Like, I really, wow. Like, what is on people's minds when they're in that situation? I'll tell you what, I wouldn't want to have that job.
Yeah, I don't understand how you could have that job.
No way.
I do not understand how anybody could have that job. Mm-mm. Your job is just to oversee the day. And, the warden does other stuff, but that's part of the job. It's not like it's the only thing he does.
Yeah.
But that's one of his major responsibilities.
Yeah.
It's like, literally,
it's like the guy with the hood that would do I was always like, wow, can you imagine being that person?
Yeah, well, you'd want to wear a hood too.
Oh, I would, yeah. I wouldn't want to do it.
You'd want to wear a hood too. You want to let everybody know,
I feel like
that's the guy that killed your uncle.
Yeah. I feel like there's enough people, though, that they're crazy enough where they'd like to do a job like that there's probably enough spots for...
Pretty terrible job.
I don't want that for me.
Pretty terrible.
Or anyone
But look what Amwar said, because it's so fascinating. He says, listen, type 2 diabetes is trivial, though. So many actors I work with and manage it. But a person went to Switzerland to basically kill themselves because they had diabetes.
Diabetes?
Type 2 diabetes. So they went to Switzerland and offed themselves. But then Zombieholic responds by saying, yeah, but diabetes is expensive. Like, we're in such a crazy world.
I'm so fucking pissed that all this money is getting sent for war, billions of dollars, and it's seemingly come out of nowhere. And we've been crybabying about we can't do who's going to afford Medicare for all? Who's going to pay for that? The money was there. The money was there because when we wanted to involve ourselves in something that's really none of our fucking business, money's been coming out from everywhere. And every time I go to the store, I get progressively more and more angry because all the stuff on the shelves is so much more expensive. I barely walk out of the store with anything and it's hundreds of dollars. And I'm like, if I knew that this money was going toward Medicare for all, then I would gladly pay $5 more for my eggs than I was paying before. Yeah. But now when I'm like, this is going for what? For war? No. Oh my word. I'm so, wow. Anyway.
Unbelievable. Here we are! 9.5 for me.
That's what I gave it, a 9.5.
There you are, dear listener. We're coming right back at you with more metal goodness from Mojo. Say that 10 times fast. More metal goodness from Mojo.
More metal goodness from Mojo.
Actually, no.
Sorry,
more metal mayhem from Mojo.
We'll be right back.
We'll be right back, dear listener. Vin out.
Sorry out.
Go.